You know, the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. As if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy.
Silence! The great and powerful Oz knows why you have come.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
Don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts.
With Jason Bermas.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
Good morning, everybody. I am Jason Bermas. This is Reality Rants, and it is brought to you by RedVoiceMedia.com. Doing it live, 9 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. Monday through Thursday. A lot of great shows also over the weekend, and of course, the premium broadcast that you can get via redvoicemedia.com/uncensored with interviews such as Ryan Christian of The Last American Vagabond, the Jackman brothers, who we had just an awesome time with. If you haven't seen that one, that's also well worth your time. And coming up this week, we might have a really cool one. I don't want to jinx it. I'm not sure what this gentleman's schedule is. But let's let the cat out of the bag right now. This is one of the reasons I love doing this show. Absolutely love it. And again, I'm a little guy. I have a small reach compared to many, many others. Okay. But I think that my audience appreciates the fact that, I'm a genuine person. And I am trying to get to the truth. Doesn't matter what side you're on. Okay. I don't think there are sides. I think there's good and evil at the end of the day. That's all I'm sure of in this world. Good and evil exist. I'm going to try to fight for good. And I'm still like the only person, at least that I know of in the alternative media, that's covering this new Lennon story, at least at length. And David Whelan, the gentleman who has now done this investigation and is coming out with this documentary, saw it on Twitter, hit me up on Twitter, said thank you, said he agreed with my perspective. We're going to get him on. And we'll probably do it premium style, guys, because that way I can go in depth for an hour, maybe even more. Let's see. We'll play the clips here for sure. You'll get little tastes. But those that support will get it first, and then eventually, really, this information, it's as good today as it is tomorrow, and that's what we try to do in those hour-long interviews. Is not just have a conversation of what's going on that week, but let's go larger perspective. Let's go historical perspective. Let's get into subject matter that you have to understand, because it's true. If you don't understand history, the whole doom to repeat it, it's not just repetition. It gets worse sometimes. I mean, I don't know how much worse it can get than for the people around the World War I, World War II era, where they were just stacking bodies in that conflict. I mean, brutal. I don't know how much worse it can be for, the goat herders and the opium farmers over in the Middle East, that's all they know. They just start getting drone bombed out of nowhere. Probably not the best position to be in. But, it's a continuation. It's a continuation. And so having these conversations with people that are exposing how the mechanisms of these things work, how actual black operations work, how if somebody, we throw that term around, influencer. Influencer. If somebody who is basically a cultural icon starts speaking out against the system, they become a problem. There's a lot of problems. And look, I'm not trying to deify Trump, but if you don't think he's a cultural icon at this point, I mean, he was before he was the president. Like him or hate him. Love him or kind of don't like him. Whatever, it doesn't matter. He's there. He's like Mickey Mouse. Unfortunately, Mickey Mouse, Disney, cultural icons, recognizable, certain image that's portrayed in your head. With Trump, it's been character assassination. It's been, false allegations of Russian collusion and Johnny nonsense, really going after him for some of his best qualities, in my opinion. For instance, when you're saying Russian collusion, the guy wasn't getting us into World War III, was he? Like that's a good thing to collude with old Poot on. Hey, Pooty, listen, let's stay out of your business, okay? You'll stay out of mine. We'll be cool. We're not going to get aggressive with NATO or anything. What is the purpose of NATO? Let's see what we can do about this. I want to get along. Holy Schnapple. Can't have that. Might disrupt arms sales. Might disrupt this whole plan for globalization or a new world order griftathon. And that's why we're leading with this story. That's why this is the opening rant. And hopefully today is going to be a little different. I know we go through a lot of clips. I've got one clip that's like 40 plus minutes. I only watched little bits of it, and every bit I watched, I was like, oh, we're going to have to play this. We're going to have to play this. We're going to have to play that. So I figure towards the second hour, we're going to just get to that one clip. We're actually going to hit news stories today. And this one is extremely important for a multitude of reasons for me. The great COVID-19 84 grift. $420 billion lost with aid through fraud and waste. Staggering reports from the AP, by the way, reveals how billions of taxpayer cash from $4.2 trillion in bailout funds disappeared. Now, I just want to start here. The big grift is the $4.2 trillion. The other 90% of this. Now, I know my title is the $500 billion scam. Guys, scam-a-thon all the way through. I mean, even if you went by what's now considered authoritative mainstream narratives, we're not going to say a word about either V word. How about that? We're not going to say either V word. I mean, you could get a computer V word, or you could get a V word here. We're not saying, we don't have to talk about that, okay? The main point in this article, okay, really is to blame you for being an asshole. You're the asshole. You're the grifters, okay? And absolve the actual amount of government corruption, control, and waste. All of it wasteful, obviously. So what do I mean by that? Well, when you scroll down, you find out that out of this $420 billion, $280 billion of it is like the people that just got too much money from the government. They got too much stimulus as they shut everything down. Look at the bad guys. Bad. It was them. You get it? And then the other $123 billion was just misspent. It's wasted. We didn't need this. We didn't need that. We didn't deploy this. Like ships in a harbor or convention centers. Convention centers that had big FEMA flip over coffins as the bets, by the way. Yeah. They had that. They were ready to go. Ready to go. 123 billion. No. And again, it's you. And here's the deal. That's why, but I want to get into the term grift too. Because boy, people have called me a grifty. Grifty McBermas. He's a grifter. This person's a grifter. That person's a grifter. Unfortunately, the reason that we're actually in this situation as a society, as the United States of not America anymore at all, not a constitutional republic. We're the United States of grifters. It's through the learned helplessness. It's through the victimhood. And I got to tell you, I get it. I'm not trying to challenge anybody. You paid into the system. Why not get it back? You're used to the paperwork. You're used to bending the knee to the government no matter what. You're frightened. You're in a heightened state. You got your family to worry about, all that. I get a lot of it. I do. But over time, right? Over time, we've enabled people to be on what? These social programs of control. Period. When a decade plus ago, you had 40+% of people in this country taking some type of government assistance, whether it be welfare or Medicaid or a dozen of the other programs, you're in trouble. You're in big trouble because it's this. Give me. Nah, I want to earn for myself. I want a way out of this. I want to become independent. That should be a marginal part of society. It's not. So you got a lot of people on that level just can't wait to grift on this thing. And then you got the small businesses that also have to make a living, period. And then they're the ones blamed. And I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying that that's why we're where we're at. Because no one's able to point the finger at the big grift. Like when I'm at these board meetings in the county, and this money that they're talking about is going over a 10-year period. A 10-year period. You understand what that means? I'm like, a 10-year period? This is a year and a half ago, by the way. This is like on almost year 2 of the nightmare. That's the grift. That's the real grifty McGrift. And unfortunately, there are just so many grifters out there that are comfortable with it. They're just super comfortable with it. I have a child. I'm going to get this, and not report that. And look, the government are the biggest grifters in the world. I'm not saying that. But once they get you into that system, you think you're getting good health care? You're not. You're getting establishment, run-of-the-mill, by the numbers. We could give a rat's ass. You're a paycheck to us. When you're gone, someone else is coming in. Healthcare. Period. And if you can't understand that, you're fooling yourself because it's easy. Oh, it's just easier to grift. And I'm going to be honest with you, with everybody here. The only time I've taken government money, ever, was college, because I graduated high school at 17. And despite me thinking I knew it all, and by the way, I think I was a pretty sharp kid. I don't think I've changed that much. But ignorant to the ways of the world, yeah. Had my license for like a year. You only know what you see, right? So I took out, I got federal aid and all that other stuff from the government. That's it. But you get to me at 22, 5 years later, post 9/11. I want nothing to do with y'all. I wouldn't take anything from you at all. I just don't want it. I don't want to be involved in your programs. I don't want to assist your mass genocide or democide around the world. I don't want to be part of your psychological operations against the populace. I don't want to be a part of your collusion to bring in a global order while guys like Fauci snicker at the rest of us for pointing out all these conflicts of interest and all these government documents. Zoonotic. Got to be careful. I don't want to say any words here. Zoonotic. Yeah, okay. That's the grift, man. And, so many people are just comfortable with it. I want nothing to do with it. They're getting ready for the implosion. They've consolidated the resources. That's the reality. We're going to come back, talk more about this and more. It's Reality Rants And now a word from our sponsor.
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. You know, I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets, sleepwear, dog beds.
Whoa, Charles. Everyone now can get MyPillow products at huge discounts at MyPillow.com. That's right. Now's the time to go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our 3-in-1 sale. We're bringing you exciting new products, overstock specials, and closeout deals you won't find anywhere else. For example, when you buy one of our brand new MyPillow 2.0s, you get another one absolutely free. And with our overstock sale, you save 50% on our luxurious Giza Dream bed sheets. That's as low as $29.99 for the best sheets ever. And with our biggest closeout special, you get our all-season slippers for only $35. Or our sandals and slides for just $25. Quantities are limited, and once they're gone, they're gone.
Boy, if that mustache doesn't wake you up in the morning, maybe it's because the pillow's putting you to sleep. Use the promo code RVM when you're over at the MyPillow store. Just to briefly wrap up the grift rant here. Again, this is the issue. They're about to take your resources away. Your savings away. Blow out the dollar on behalf of a digital agenda. All right? CBDC, blockchain, whatever you want to call it. They want digital track, trace, database, everything. And they also want that integrated into your biology. That's the reality. That's where we're going with this. And they want to blame you all the way. And honestly, they know, and when I say they, I'm talking about a predator class with an agenda, with a bunch of NGOs that tell you it's an agenda. I'm going to get to this story in a second, but I want to just show this. I mean, this is the World Economic Forum's page. Do you see what's on the top? Like, when I talk about an agenda, they're not shy. These are the agenda articles on artificial intelligence and robotics. There's 1,665 articles on this. The power of AI and wildfire prediction and prevention. Children's ethical standards can help us build human-centric AI. I mean, but there's not an agenda. Jason, you're nuts. There's no agenda. It just says agenda. How dare you use their language? It's the wildest thing. All right. Let's go back to this barrage of stories here, because I want to get through these stories. We don't do this enough. Hit each one of these up really quickly. Maybe even go to some of your comments over at the YouTube. I want you to thumbs it up, by the way. We don't even have 100 thumbs up. Let's go with that. Thumbs it up. Subscribe, share. If you're watching this on Rumble, same exact thing. Let people know about the broadcast. We're live Monday through Thursday. We're doing it live. We're having a good time talking about some dark things. And we're trying as hard as we can to talk about, yes, the relevant issues of today, but integrate them into the bigger picture, right? Call of Duty faces a backlash from gamers for launching crackdown on prominent streamers' content after he tweeted about mass brawl during Pride vote at Los Angeles school. And what I read, all he wrote with this video, this brawl thing, and I hate having to focus on this issue. It sucks. But like he said, leave the kids alone. That's it. Pretty sure leave the kids alone is okay. Nope, not anymore. Now you're going to lose money again. Call of Duty has cut ties with its prominent streamer after he tweeted criticism of a California school board's decision to recognize Pride Month. Nick Kolcheff, who plays under the handle FaZe Nickmerks and has 4 million YouTube subscribers, has a partnership with the blockbuster game canned after he tweeted, "They should leave the children alone. That's the real issue." You see what he said? He said to leave kids alone. Now you're a bigot now when you say leave kids alone. No shit. And he's not the only one. I believe this guy, from what I understand, the reason that he has a partnership with them and a package deal is he's a military guy himself, and like you can get the packs on there, and now other people are saying, hey, take my pack off too. But this is the extent of you're not allowed to have an opinion anymore. And it's censorship everywhere. And it used to be able to be completely and totally controlled because there wasn't a moment by moment interaction with people hundreds, thousands of miles away of influence. There's that word again, influence. That can sway opinion outside of what the mainstream media tosses out, like a bad potato salad, like a rotten potato. I mean, that's where they're at, right? I mean, it's a stinky, rotten, I don't want to eat it, I'm going to vomit potato salad every day. Every network. Every one. Sorry. America 2023, the post-truth world. And they don't like that they no longer have control. Well, look, unfortunately, people also like nice things. They like to drive nice cars. They like to have a nice home. They like to be able to eat the food they like. So when you hit them in the pocket, and you do so in a public arena, you send a message to other people that like nice things and like to have nice things. And they say, geez, that contract's worth $30,000 this year. I only got to play the game once a week. And then I get royalties on top of when people buy the pack. It brings in another 15 grand. That's some people's yearly income. A lot of people's yearly income in this country. And that's just part of what I mean. I want to keep that. Probably going to keep the whole pride thing to myself. And here's the, let me see if we got to bring that one up. And here's the deal. We're in the dark cartoon, man. Biden's LGBT pride party guest goes topless in White House garden. Transgender model bears breasts on South Lawn after posing for snaps with President and First Lady. The adults are back in the White House. Again, say what you want about Donnie T. And people have, and I have. But call me kooky. I was more into it when Donnie T was on the White House lawn with a baseball mitt and Bernie Williams and a bunch of kids tossing baseballs around. Hey! Remember when America was baseball and apple pie? How about that? I loved baseball as a kid. Great sport. Very team-orientated. 9 people on the field working together. That's just on defense. Lots of nuances. Coaches telling you signals, communication, athletics, discipline. No. You want that for our kids? By the way, great sport for both genders. Very competitive on both genders. I know that my friends who were girls, they played softball. They enjoyed it. They played it at a pretty competitive level. Every once in a while, I'll look up at the screen when I'm having lunch with my buddies, and I'll see a little softball on there. Sure, it's not as, you can't make tens of millions of dollars a year playing softball, but you get the drift. It teaches all those things. Good stuff. Good stuff on the lawn, Donnie T. But not anymore. The adults are in the White House now. They're back. And the adults are so back, you've got people going topless. Yes, exposing their fake breasts on someone who was born a biological male. The adults are back. They're back in action. I don't even want to scroll down and show it. Do I have to? I don't think I have to, right? I saw it in the headline when I clicked it. I don't have any desire to see it again. I mean, it's blurred, but what am I watching here? This is cartoon level. Dark cartoon level. You got a guy that doesn't run a damn thing. Not one stinky thing. No big deal. We've got a huge flag in front of the White House now that recognizes zeros and ones, non-binary as a thing, because it's really, at the end of the day, not just about globalism and a new world order, but you know it. what's described as transgenics in this book right here. Transgenics, transhumanism, and it's out in the open, baby. Man, when you take the step back and you think about it, you think about this dark cartoon. It's just pushing forward. And meanwhile, I know that we sit here, we talk about elections and voting ourselves out. There's still been no accountability. I had a conversation yesterday where people are talking like Donnie T if he does get in. And I don't know how he gets in. We haven't changed anything about our election system at all. And we don't know what disasters await us for 2024 at all. I'll tell you what, sure are downplaying this global conflict with poking the bear via Russia and Ukraine. That's a problem. I know we hear a lot about China. That cultural push is here too. And I don't like that. But when I'm thinking about immediate and militarily, I'm thinking that conflict. And I'm not necessarily thinking it's even Russia that pulls the trigger. That's the other thing, man. You just don't even know. How could you know in the post-truth world anymore? How could you know? Seriously. We're so chock full of lies. I mean, obviously, the absurd from a distance, like, hey, Russia blew up a bridge that totally and completely decimates the military infrastructure they had. Hey, Russia blew up their pipeline that is part of their infrastructure. Yeah, that's absurd. But like when you get into the actual fog of war, where we're just sending military equipment everywhere, we got the Starlink systems, we got the drones, we have completely and totally propped that up. I mean, Russia could retaliate. They could do something. And if that happens, say, I don't know, in October, imagine that October surprise. I mean, that changes the game right there. And I don't know where we're going to be next October, right? But I'll tell you what, it's around the corner here. We're around the corner from a year out from election season. They got the zombie saying he's running again, okay, that there's not going to be any debates. Thank God you have RFK Jr. interjecting some sanity into it, maybe. But, like, is he going to run independent? Because I don't see the Democratic Party under any circumstance. Lightning striketh anywhere. I don't see them giving him the nomination under any if they wouldn't give Bernie Sanders the nomination, somebody that like clearly was establishment in the sense that if you look at his policies, they're very adaptive to collectivism, but they still feared the shakeup that it wouldn't include some of the Wall Street insiders or that it would disrupt Wall Street. So they only let him go so far. You think they're giving the nod to RFK Jr.? And I get so many people saying, Jason Bermas, that's a very black pill. It's reality. It's reality. And listen, I was as shocked as anyone in 2016 when Donnie T got through the system. I really was. Corrupt voting machines and all. I still believe he had way more votes in 2016 than they let on. This whole idea of half the country this and half the country that, there's just such a large section of the country that doesn't identify as a Republican or a Democrat. They don't care. They don't care at all. They don't like either one like me. They realize that, I mean, even if they're so disassociated from the system, they realize the level of corruption is so large that why would you play that team baseball? But the ones that do, they're the ones that are amplified, right? They're the ones with 100,000 followers, 1 million followers, 10 million followers. That's where we're at. We're going to go to a commercial break. We're going to hit a few more stories up. I'm going to read through some of these comments over there, maybe bring them up. I want you to thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. Remember, redvoicemedia.com/uncensored. Sign up for $1 today and get 2 extra interviews every single week.
Welcome to Reagan Gold Group. We're glad you're here. We understand that you're probably feeling the pain of rising inflation and are worried about how it may be affecting your hard-earned savings. Thanks to H.R. 5376 passed by President Biden, many 401k and IRA savers are facing a nightmare. Governments are printing fiat currency at an alarming rate, which means that the value of your savings is being eroded day by day. However, there is a way to escape wealth confiscation. Precious metals such as gold does not depreciate over time and is a sound investment that keeps on growing. Physical gold is not subject to fraud, and as inflation rises, so does the price of gold. It's an investment product that is renowned for its ability to hedge against inflation. I'm Leith Eaton, the Senior Account Executive here at Reagan Gold Group. We offer 100% free IRA rollovers with free storage, maintenance, and insurance for up to 3 years on qualified orders. We understand that your financial needs and goals may change over time, which is why we offer a hassle-free buyback commitment. This allows you to sell your precious metals any day, anytime at the current market value. Whether you're looking to cash in on your investment, diversify your portfolio, or simply need some extra cash, our buyback commitment is here to support you. We offer a price match guarantee to ensure you get the best price for your precious metal investments. Contact us before making a purchase and we'll beat any competitor's price. We also understand the importance of the safe and secure shipping of your metals. That's why we fully insure all orders shipped to our customers with signature required. Book a free consultation with us now to learn how you can invest in precious metals and hedge your financial future. And for a limited time, we're offering up to $2,500 in free gold and silver. Don't miss out on this limited opportunity. Contact us today to take advantage of this amazing offer.
RVMGold.com. Go check it out for all your gold needs. I want to thank Christina for that Tipsky and Hutch over at the Rockfin. I want to hit some more of these stories up right here. All up in here. Where do we got right here? Disney heiress says her grandfather is spinning in his grave as video emerges of Nazi flags being waved outside Orlando Park. Now, I saw this. You know, these ignorant-ass people or feds or combination of ignorant-ass people and feds. You know, when I see the people with their faces covered or whatever, you know, a bunch of Nazis are now outside of Disney. Huh. So, like, people have legitimate concerns about Disney sexualizing children, being completely inappropriate, not having any government regulation in Florida. And now all of a sudden, Nazis are protesting Disney. It's just odd. It's just odd how that works, right? Just a little. Anyone else find that just like a bit weird? It's weird. I'm sure that I'm being conspiratorial in thinking that there's anything to that, right? I must be. Because obviously that's real. And that if you're protesting Disney and some of the things that they do, you're probably a Nazi now. Oh boy. The dark cartoon continues. This is another big story. They're paying out. JP Morgan agrees to pay Epstein victims $290 million in historic class action lawsuit settlement after it was revealed bank continued to do business with him for years, despite labeling him a high-risk client. Linked to the bank from 98 to 2013. Wow. So if you look at this right here, another big one. They had $70 million. This is $290 million. All right. The lawsuit was filed on behalf of one woman, but the settlement rewards anyone who was victimized by Epstein, a known pedophile who killed himself in prison in 2019. The number of victims who may stand to gain from the settlement could reach 100, though it's unclear if there is a limit on the number who can come forward or whether each is limited in how much they can receive. The parties believe this settlement is in the best interest of all parties, especially the survivors who were the victims of Epstein's terrible abuse. A statement released by J.P. Morgan on Monday morning said. So I wonder if this is it. I mean, that probably means that Jamie Dimon ain't testifying, right? Like, let's be honest. I said this. I go, look, they're starting to pay out. They don't want these guys testifying. Now, my question is, are they going to serve Wexner? They've been trying to, right? That could happen. That might happen. I'm not sure it's going to happen. I'd like to see it happen. But if they serve Wexner, is he going to pay out? He hasn't paid out yet. He's had old Dershowitz as his lawyer. And old Dersh has been pretty good about keeping his dirty ass hands clean. Just saying. Just saying. David Boies, an attorney acting on behalf of Epstein victims, said the historic recoveries from the banks who provided financial services to Jeffrey Epstein speak for themselves. It's taken a long time, too long. But today is a great day for Jeffrey Epstein survivors and a great day for justice. What about all those other people that didn't survive? What about justice for them and the network? And when I say justice for the network, I'm talking about, incarcerations beyond Ghislaine Maxwell. Just saying. Sigrid McCauley, another of the victims' lawyers, said, the settlement that have been reached are both life-changing and historic for the survivors. Money, which for far too long flowed with impunity between Jeffrey Epstein's global sex trafficking enterprise and Wall Street's leading banks, is decisively being used for good. The settlements signal that financial institutions have an important role to play in spotting and shutting down sex trafficking. Brad Edwards, who's an attorney that's been on this for a long time. He's the one that's actually talked about his conversation with Trump and Trump actually reaching back out to him. An attorney representing the Jane Doe who launched the case said the information and support the U.S. Virgin Islands and its legal team provided to the survivors was enormously valuable, and we recognize the importance of the government's continued litigation against J.P. Morgan Chase to prevent future crimes. A spokesman for the U.S. Virgin Islands government, which is still suing the bank over similar violations, said, okay, so the Virgin Islands case is still open. See, there's a multitude of these. We are gratified to hear about the settlement that will provide victims of Jeffrey Epstein some compensation for J.P. Morgan Chase's role in facilitating the Epstein crimes against them. The U.S. Virgin Islands will continue to proceed with its enforcement action to ensure full accountability for J.P. Morgan's violations of law and prevent the bank from assisting and profiting from human trafficking in the future. Interesting. Wow. So, man, they're getting hit hard, dude. That's a lot of cheese. Are they going to be hit for $1 billion altogether? I mean, that's chump change compared to what you did, America. You grifted. You grifted. You grifting bastards. I mean, look at these ultimate grifts. Epstein was a client, between 98 and 2013, 7 years after he was arrested and convicted of using underage prostitutes in Palm Beach, Florida. Bank employees were concerned about Epstein's large cash withdrawals, some of which were used to pay underage girls in exchange for sex, but he was allowed to remain a client for years. Look, I'm not saying that's not horrific, the large cash withdrawals for the girls. They were, listen, go listen to some of the victims. They're getting hundreds of dollars. That's not large cash withdrawals. There's other things going on there, number one. And number two, it's the backdoor business deals worth tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars that actually mattered. The withdrawals rang alarm bells among compliance officials, but he explained them away by claiming they were for fuel and landing fees for his private plane. I'm sure it was a lot more. I think you scratch the surface, you scratch and sniff that one. What do you got? You got drug dealing, you got, obviously, the trafficking, and you got arms dealing, man. You got a lot of influence peddling. That's what you got. Influence peddling. There's that magical word again, influence. Speaking of influence, the Tuckins, Tucker Carlson, says he will not be science-defiant. Attorney for ex-Fox News host rejects network's cease and desist letter demanding he pull his Twitter series that now has drawn 169 million views. That's 2 episodes. It's around 22 minutes. It's still dominating what the mainstream media can do. Okay? And look, you know, he was poking the bear at some taboos again in the second episode. I just wish that we hadn't gone like full alien tard. Somebody's got to really talk to the Tuckins about that, because like this whistleblower now saying that malevolent aliens have murdered. They've murdered. They've taken enjoyment of it. I mean, something out of like Signs. Remember Signs? It wasn't that great. Mel Gibson, M. Night Shyamalan, Ding Dong movie. And like the coolest part of the whole movie, in my opinion, was the shaky cam footage of like the nasty looking, almost predator / alien combo pack in the streets. That was it. Everything else kind of subpar. I think Joaquin Phoenix is the other person in that one. It just wasn't that great of a film, you know. And now you got that 10-foot alien story. You got the kid doing interviews. Who knows what happened there? Who knows what happened there? Like, I almost don't even want to speculate on that one because it's so over the top and utterly ridiculous. All right. John Bolton back on the scene. John Bolton says Trump kept classified documents because he thought they were cool and suggests ex-president should go to jail for making nation's top secrets take to Mar-a-Lago. John Bolton, traitor. Again, Trump, why'd you put this guy in your administration? I know he was Roger Stone's poker buddy for a time, but come on, man. Walrus mustache? I mean, literally, not a good guy. I got an exchange with him. I'm not sure who's calling who's Satan or the devil or something like that. But it's between Mattis and Bolton. Like coming up the stairs. Let's see if we can find it. Mattis, Bolton, Satan. Satan. Yes, there it is right. I mean, you know, this is why we do it live. Here we go. Mattis to Bolton. I hear
the Secretary
the
of
devil
Defense, James
incarnate.
Mattis, just moments ago received John Bolton, who's going to be the president's new national security advisor. Let me play this little clip, what we just heard.
Ambassador Bolton.
Mr. Secretary,
It's
so good to see
meet
you. Thank you for inviting me over.
Thanks for coming, and it's good to finally meet you. Absolutely. I've heard that you're absolutely devil incarnate. I wanted to meet you.
In case you didn't hear the Secretary of Defense.
Oh, I heard it, Wolf. I bet you in his eyebrows raised. The devil incarnate. Those are the kind of fun laughs that they had inside the Defense Department. The fun laughs. Look, John Bolton is absolutely the worst. And again, Trump gets in. Who's your cabinet, man? Let's start talking about your cabinet right now. Well, let's talk about some of the people that worked for you that were not good people. Let's keep like the Kissingers and the Karl Roves away, and the Bill Barrs away, and the Pompeos away. Just saying. Probably in your best interest, big dude. Here for you. John Bolton, not the best. He thought they were cool. Let's say it again. He could declassify them at any time. The overclassification of documents is over the top and has been for a very long time. We all know it. That shows we don't live in a quote-unquote democracy. We certainly don't live in a constitutional republic with democratic principles like we're supposed to, and checks and balances like we're supposed to, right? The 3 branches, judicial, executive, legislative. So this guy just wants to pad his stats and have a cool library. He's probably not wrong about that part. And nope, let's put him in prison. Let's put Trump in prison. Let's go to a word from our sponsor. And then, guys, just so you know, second hour, freebie, rvmrumble.com. Make sure to follow and subscribe to the Rumble channels, rvmrumble.com. That's where you see the second hour uncensored and free.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS? Have you been threatened with levies or have unfiled returns? The IRS is hiring 87,000 agents to boost IRS collections, and they have the power to seize assets, freeze bank accounts, and they can even take your home. Tax Network USA can help you today before it's too late. Our CPAs and certified tax experts have proven strategies that work for taxpayers time and time again. These same strategies have saved over $500 million in back taxes, permanently resolving tax debts for good. Stop collections and get relief today before it's too late.
Final segment of that first hour, and I want to just hit this one. Now, I don't know what's going on here, but child plane passenger 11 dies after losing consciousness on Turkish Airlines flight to New York. Made the emergency landing in Budapest. Couldn't save the kid's life. Just, I wonder how many tragedies over the next couple of years we're going to see on planes that we never really saw en masse. And I'm hoping a lot of them don't have to do with kids. But the possibilities are out there. They're simply out there. All right, let's get a little taste of where we're going into the second hour in here and why you're going to be around. So we talked about agenda articles, right? The WEF. And what I found was really, really interesting is I saw this tweet and I didn't know whether it was real or not. Lots of fake news stories out there. This one's starting to go viral. I want to make sure it wasn't fake. Slay News over here talks about an interview with, I think it's Pedro Pinata or something like that. Pedro Pinto. And look where it is. It's in Lisbon, Portugal. So, okay, now all of a sudden my eyes raised up. Lisbon, Portugal. Why was that important? Harari was spotted at Lisbon, Portugal, okay, as Bilderberg took off that Thursday, but he wasn't on the list. Now, I have insinuated, and I think I'm standing by it, but I can't prove it. I want to make that clear. It just seems like a real big coinky-dink. He showed up there. He showed up while Bilderberg was there, not on the list. Now, I interviewed Charlie Skelton, another great premium you're going to want to check out. Again, Charlie Skelton, thank you so much for doing that interview with me. Very enlightening. He's like the only mainstream journalist that's doing a fair take and exposing Bilderberg. And his Twitter feed was beyond reproach. It was impeccable, really. Just fantastic, especially given the information. He thinks it was a coincidence. He goes, look, these people are so brazen, Jason. Why wouldn't he just come out and say it? I think he would. And I was like, all right, hey, fair game to you, Charlie. I didn't believe it. But that solidified to me that, listen, this is probably a real story. So then what I did was I typed in Pedro Pinto and I typed in Yuval Noah Harari. And guess what? So a 45-minute interview. Now, I watched like 3 clips of it, and each clip was really important. They didn't actually have the quote in here, okay, where apparently Harari calls for AI to rewrite the Bible and create religions that are actually correct. But from the clips I saw, he was talking about religion as a fantasy. He was talking about some of the downsides of AI. He was going with the perspective of Eric Schmidt that we need to slow down AI. We can't stop it. We need to slow it down. We let the government control it. Oh, the government's going to control it. Yes, we let the government control so much. He talks about the regulation of medicines. He talks about the regulation of selling like an automobile. We need more government control over this technology, which I've warned about time and time again, is like the Uber agenda every single damn time. which puts us, the plebs, the serf class, at a distinct disadvantage. Just pointing that out. And this time it's for all the marbles. So, what I want to do, first of all, is I want to believe in magic right here. And I want to change this to the correct screen, this one here. And I want to start it off with a little bit of the Harari. So, and the other thing was, where I found these videos? On his own YouTube. And I didn't realize, Harari's got over 500,000 subscribers on his own YouTube, everybody. Just want to point that out. Fondaco. I don't know what that is. Let's get through that. Humanity's
Hello and
not
welcome
that simple.
to a very special edition of It's Not That Simple. Special because it's the first one ever recorded in front of a live audience here at the Stufa Fria in Lisbon, and also because we're delighted to have our special guest, renowned author, historian as well, Yuval Noah Harari. It'll be fantastic to be able to discuss with him his perspective on humanity, which is our topic of the day. Of course, he is globally known for a variety of work in this area about the past, present, and future of humanity. And we're going to try to explain why it's not that simple. Yuval, welcome to Portugal.
Thank you.
And the premise of this show is trying to break down complicated subjects. Today's topic is particularly complicated. To set the stage, I think it'd be nice for you to try to paint a picture of humanity in 2023 and tell us what you see and why it's difficult, perhaps, to preview the future.
Man, that is a large crowd for Yuval. I have no idea how popular this show is internationally, English-speaking audience, and I've yet to nail down the exact date as to which this took place, but I wonder whether it was during the Bilderberg conference or maybe the weekend after. Now, if it's the weekend after, he's spending a full week there. Just saying.
This time.
Well, we are now almost like gods in terms of our powers of creation and destruction. We now have the power to create new life forms, but also to destroy much of life on Earth, including ourselves. We are facing two really big challenges. On the one hand, the threat of ecological collapse.
That's a lie. See, that's where we have to start right there. Everything up until that point, right, he's telling the truth about. We do have the power, and whether it's godlike or not, we do have the power to create biological life that would not exist except for our bio-nanotechnology, our chimeric experimentations, biowarfare programs, really, transhumanist programs, really. But this ecological collapse, that's the religion. And that's the religion they'd love AI to rewrite. And that's the big lie.
On the other hand, the threat of technological disruption. We are creating extremely powerful tools like AI that could undermine human civilization. And maybe the worst thing is that instead of uniting in order to face these common challenges to our species, we are dividing, we are fighting each other more and more. There are rising tensions on the international level. There are rising tensions within societies. One society after the other is really on the brink of collapse. So, maybe the most important question to ask about humans, about humanity, is if we are so smart, why are we doing so many stupid things?
Let me stop that right there. The idea that, number one, human beings are going to be perfect, that's not what we are. We are extremely competitive species. You could call us tribal at times. And unfortunately, in my opinion, the generational powers that shouldn't be, those in the predator class at the top, they don't like competition. They don't want a new tribe rising up, especially one that would actually empower humanity. They want their stranglehold. Okay? And that's the reason that these things happen, because you have a clique. Why do they do so many stupid things? Because you got a clique that's hell-bent on human misery and collectivism, and they don't want the individuals to flourish. Now, don't get me wrong. In any kind of a free society, you're going to have a level of crime. You are going to have anomalous behavior. You know, and when I say anomalous behavior, you can't rid the world of evil altogether. It's part of free will. It's part of humanity, in my opinion. You should expose it. You shouldn't let it get too powerful, but we have. That's the stupid thing, is that we haven't challenged or held accountable many of the most evil people and entities out there, in my opinion.
Why we called our species Homo sapiens, wise humans, and yet we are engaged in so many self-destructive activities, and we seem unable to stop ourselves. So that I think is the paradox of the smart humans, the wise humans.
It's a great place to start. And, you know, when I was introducing you, obviously I was very short because I want to make the most out of these 40 minutes that I have with you. I could list your accolades and your books and your achievements.
Better, yeah.
Yeah, but let's focus on the content. And obviously, I've heard a lot of your interviews, of your talks, and there's something that we can't get around at the moment in 2023, which is technology, the advance of technology. You know, when I was growing up, and we're more or less the same age, I'm 48, I still remember that Pong game where you had basically two white rectangles going back and forth with the ball bouncing off the screen. And it's crazy where we are now. You know, I have a 2.5-year-old daughter, and this new frontier of artificial intelligence is incredibly dangerous, I think, because I'm really wondering what her generation is going to be like, how they're going to learn, how they're going to do anything for themselves.
Well, they've been taught more and more that artificial reality is more important, that this kind of fake it till you make it or never make it and always fake it mentality is okay. Let's throw a filter, live time to make myself more beautiful. Let's take 26 pictures of something and then let's edit that person out and let's put that up. Let's smile while I do it, even though I'm not happy, right? Let's immerse myself even further into this video game. And don't get me wrong, video games, just like movies or television shows, there's a time, or sports, there's a time for entertainment. But all of a sudden, this is going to absorb my whole world. You know, he just made that Pong reference. Obviously, these things have become more and more entertaining, more and more immersive. I like a good video game. Hey, to this day, I'm a big Mortal Kombat guy. New Mortal Kombat's about to drop. Very expensive. Might wait for a sale. Might not. Who knows? Maybe I'll spoil myself. But it's there. I can put it down. A lot of these people aren't able to put it down anymore. Okay? Because of that learned helplessness. I'll just live with mommy and daddy. I'll just live off the state. A UBI is a good idea. You understand? All right. Final commercial break. And then we're going to go over to the second hour, rvmrumble.com. Make sure you're subscribing.
We love the internet, but the internet is tracking everything you do. Take control of your online privacy with IPVanish. People with malicious intent are everywhere, watching you. Criminals can hack your Wi-Fi, while broadband providers and advertisers monitor your data. With IPVanish on your device, your internet activity is encrypted. No one can see what you're doing. Your location, your connection, completely hidden. Protect your internet privacy today with IPVanish.
RVMVPN.com. I use IPVanish myself, guys. All right, second hour is about to begin. We're going to continue with Harari. I'd love for you to come on over at rvmrumble.com. And again, if you want to check out those premium interviews, those primos, baby, consider doing so over at redvoicemedia.com/uncensored. It really does help support the broadcast. Sign up for a week for only $1. It's $10 a month after that, or lock it in. Lock it on in. Lock it and pop it. Lock it and pop it for a year. And you do that for $100, you save 20. Again, really supports the broadcast. YouTube, I'm sorry.